What's up, Internet fam? So once again, we are heading in for an election. This is a midterm election, and the news media is telling you that this is the most important election that has ever occurred. I disagree across a whole number of fronts, but the main reason I disagree is because California, Florida, and Ohio, all three of them use digital voting machines. That's where most of the population lives. Therefore, I think most of your votes aren't even being counted. Besides that, almost everybody's going to vote either Democrat or Republican, which is insane. After what the Democrats did to Bernie Sanders in 2016, after the Republicans stole the election from Ron Paul in 2012, I think for you to vote for either major party means you need to have your head examined. You're clearly not aware of the fact that your votes aren't being counted at all in the main populous states. And even if they were being counted, the intention of your vote will be thwarted by either of the two main corporate parties. Listen, our world is a catastrophe zone right now, which is insane. We have the least level of crime, the highest level of economic production. We have the most availability of food sources for people all over the world, and there's still people dying of poverty and starvation all over the planet. The reason why? Corporations and large governments are still running the show. The Federal Reserve, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all the usual players are still running the show. And they don't care about you. They don't care about the starving kids in Africa. And the answer isn't to import a bunch of migrants from third world countries. That will not solve anything. In fact, that will only cause more problems, because as we import those migrants from the third world countries, we're going to continue to strain our already broken systems here in second world countries like the US, or in first world countries like most of the Nordic countries in Europe. If you want to see what's occurred when you allow all the migrants into your country, go ahead and take a look at Sweden. Go ahead and take a look at Paris. Go ahead and take a look at Germany. It's very obvious at this point that importing a bunch of migrants from the third world is not going to solve any issues. In fact, it's only going to cause more and more issues for the local population there. So it is not the answer. And while I understand that your heart is in the right place because you want to care about these people from the third world, and that's great, I commend you for that, importing them into this country and allowing Muslim rape gangs to run the streets here as they do in Sweden or Paris or Germany is not a good idea. It's going to lead to all kinds of societal issues and upheaval that nobody wants. Especially you do-gooder liberals, which, by the way, if you're voting Democrat in this election, you really, really, really need to think about what you're doing, because the Democratic Party has not been a fan of the American people for a very, very long time. And I say this as somebody who would never vote Republican again after what they did to Ron Paul in 2012. So there's that. When it comes to local state bonds and stuff like that, sure, go ahead and vote for those. Maybe your vote will be counted. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of faith in it. And the other thing is, too, most of these local bonds and county bonds, etc., are labeled in such a way, are talked about in such a way in the voter pamphlet, that there's actually no way for us to know what they're actually intending to do with those funds, what they're actually intending to do with the law. So again, you're kind of just throwing a dart up at a dartboard while blindfolded and hoping that you're going to hit a bullseye. And I don't have any faith that you're going to hit a bullseye. Until we have some real election reform, until we eliminate both the corporate parties, until we eliminate all of the corporate investment in our elections and our electoral systems, I don't think that there's a possibility that we're going to be able to dig ourselves out of the hole that we're in. So good luck on Tuesday.